What's up, you guys? It's Ashley and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of first impressions, testing out new affordable beauty products. A lot of these products I did pick up recently from like Walgreens, CVS, Target, Walmart, and then some items I picked up from Ulta before we went into quarantine. So today is going to kind of be a full face of first, with the exception of like bronzer and stuff because I couldn't find any new bronzers. But I hope you guys really appreciate today's video and you guys really enjoy it. If you do, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. It's completely free, and while you're at it, click that bell so that way YouTube will notify you whenever I upload, which is every Monday and Wednesday. I may even have a bonus video for you this week, so definitely stay tuned for that. With that, I think we can just get started on the looks. I'm gonna zoom you in just so that way we can get a little up close and personal, so let's do it. First and foremost, let's talk about what I have on my face. I get so many comments asking what I have on my face in the beginning of every single video, and it is this right here by Ulta MD. This is the UV Elements Broad Spectrum SPF 44 sunscreen. I wear this literally every single day. It honestly just protects my skin against the UVA and UVB rays, and it also acts as a really nice like primer. So sometimes I feel like I don't even really need to go in with a primer, but if I want like a smoothing effect and things like that, you guys will see me go in with a primer. So I do always put this on right before I film. Also, I have a little bit of lip balm on already. This one is from Wet n Wild. This is the Wet n Wild lip treatment. It is a grapefruit mint treatment. Now, I did recently pick this up. It is a first impressions, but so far, so good. It feels amazing on my lips. I also have like a little bit of brow product through my brows. I have the Stila brow marker, which I know isn't affordable, which is why I did it off camera. But besides that, we're just gonna jump straight into eyeshadow. I'm gonna use this eyeshadow primer right here by Wet n Wild. This is the Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. I saw this in store and I'm like, okay, let me pick it up. Let me see what it's all about. It is kind of like a beige color, but I don't think it has much pigment to it, which isn't a bad thing. This is just going to just prime my lids for eyeshadow application. It's not going to do any muting or anything like that, which I said isn't a bad thing. For me personally, I really love an eyeshadow primer that gives me coverage and covers up any veinage or discoloration, but I don't hate primers that don't do that just because I know they serve a different purpose. So I'm just putting this all over to prime. Now that my eyes are nice and primed, let's actually move on to eyeshadow. Now I do have two different palettes in front of me, but a palette that I've been really wanting to play with on camera is this one right here by Catrice. This is the Orchid Dusk eyeshadow palette. It is so pretty. You have your neutral tone browns, but you also have like your pinks and your purples and your siennas. So I definitely want to play around with this and see what we can create. The very first shade I'm going to take is this shade right here. It's a really beautiful soft brown shade. I'm going to take this in my crease to act as my transitional shade, and the brush I'm using is just a Morphe M433. Usually I'll use like an M441, but we're going to switch it up today. The next shade I'm gonna go in with is the shade right here. It's still in that brown family, but it's slightly deeper than that transitional shade I went in with. I'm gonna take this to really deepen up this outer V area. I will say the shadow is gripping onto the eyeshadow primer very nicely. It's not a terrible eyeshadow primer, but I do wish it had like some concealing properties to it because it literally just looks like my skin underneath the eyeshadow, and I can kind of see like some of the discoloration like up in this area, like my brow hairs and stuff like that, which isn't something I really enjoy seeing whenever I'm doing my eyeshadow. But we're gonna try to ignore that and continue on with eyeshadow. I'm just taking this right here in the outer part of my eye. I also feel like if these shadows had something really nice and sticky to stick to, that they would probably show up a little bit better. Not that they're like not showing up, but I feel like they would be a little bit more intense. So we're gonna go in with more of a deeper shade. This one right here is a true like very pretty sienna, and I'm gonna take that on a big fluffy brush here. This is an ABH A25. I'm going to just put it here, and then I'm going in big circular motions just to really buff and blow it out. I really want this outer V area to be really, really soft and smoky, so I don't want it to be too concentrated in one area. And I know I'm getting a ton of fallout right here. Honestly, not something I'm too concerned with. I do feel like this palette does have a significant amount of fallout, but I could easily clean that up with like makeup remover or makeup wipes. I'm just concerned about the overall pigmentation, and so far these shadows are building up beautifully. So now that I have it nice and smoked out for the most part, I do want to go in with more of like a concentrated brush. I'm gonna use this one right here by Fenty because it's tightly packed, and I'm gonna pick up that same shade, except instead of buffing and blowing it out with a fluffy brush, I'm really gonna focus it right here on the outer V just to kind of intensify this area. So I'm really just taking my time and packing it and placing it in one area. I don't know, like I'm thinking I want to go super dramatic today. I haven't filmed like a very dramatic look in a really long time. I've been really into soft glam recently that I haven't really taken it a step further, like into that like ooh drama pit. No, kind of weird, but I'm sure you guys get what I'm saying. Since this is going to be more of a dramatic look, I'm definitely going to cut my crease. I'm going to take it there. I haven't cut my crease in one of my makeup looks in so long. So I'm going to take a little bit of concealer. You can really use whatever concealer you have. I'm just using this one right here by Neutrogena, which we will talk about when I get to concealer. I'm going to take a flat brush and I'm going to carve out a little bit of lid space because I feel like this look calls for a very dramatic cut crease feel. Now I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and I'm going to really blow out the edges of that concealer just so that way it melts into the shadow I already have on my lid. This is just going to make it a little bit easier for like blending and stuff. I notice that when I don't do steps like this, like it just gets really messy really quick. Sometimes I'll even put a little bit of the concealer on my blending brush and just kind of soften up that edge, even though I didn't do a very good job. But that's because I'm not really taking my time. But I'm sure you guys get me. Now before I go in with my lid shade, I definitely want to add some black to this look just to kind of smoke it out a little bit. And I'm really going to focus this right here and kind of like pinch it just to create more of like an almond shaped eye. So I'm using an M507 and I'm going to start at the base here, and then I'm slowly going to start to build up this shadow. I'm mixing it with a little bit of the brown at the same time just so that way it doesn't come out too stark and harsh. But I'm really taking my time with this step to ensure that it's not like black all at once. You really want to slowly, gradually build the shadow. Now I'm taking that same fluffy brush and I'm really like blowing out this black in the outer corner. Also gonna drag a little bit of this black down just so that way when I clean up I still have a little bit of that black there closest to the lash line. So moving on, I'm gonna pick up this bronze shade right here from within the palette. Honestly, I really wish this palette had shade names because it will make it a lot easier for me to show you guys and tell you guys what I'm doing. But I am taking that bronze shade on kind of like a flat brush like this, and I'm putting it right here in the center. I am putting this on completely dry, and honestly, it has really good pigmentation to it. So I'm just patting this, and I'm also taking it closest to where I cut my crease with that concealer. So I'm just gonna run it back and forth until everything is nice and blended. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my brush over and I'm going to take that kind of like gold bronze shade right next to it. Like, not going to lie, these bronze shades look very similar in the pan, but the biggest difference between the two is that one has more yellow in it than the other one does. So I'm going to take the one that leans a little bit more yellow and I'm going to put it right here in the very inner corner just to blend everything together. And again, I'm applying this completely dry. I will say that the shadows, the shimmer shadows within this palette are a little bit chunkier and grittier than what I'm used to seeing in drugstore shadows recently. I feel like before, a lot of drugstore shimmers were very, very chunky, but now they're laying a lot smoother, but this one definitely looks a little bit chunkier and grittier than what I normally like in a shadow. I'm gonna take a smaller brush and I'm really gonna concentrate this yellow bronzy gold in the very inner part of the eye. Loving the way that this is turning out. It's a really intense bronze smoky eye. Definitely like Makeup by A. Marie in 2018, 2019. Is it 2019? When I was doing very, very dramatic like looks. But anyways, besides that, I did pick up a new liquid eyeliner. This one is by NYX. This is the Epic Wear Waterproof Eye and Body Liquid Eyeliner. This is different than the Epic Monkey or Epic Ink liner by NYX. This one is a brush tip, so it's going to be a lot wetter and easier for me to apply, especially over shimmer. I find that felt tips kind of dry out whenever you're putting them over top of shimmer, so I have high hopes for this. I'm really, really excited for it. I definitely want to do like a super intense cat eye wing. Let's see if we could do it, because I don't have my eyeliner hack with me today. So I'm going to start right here. Now that we finally got liner down, I'm gonna pop on false lashes. These are the falsies that I'm gonna go with for today's video. These are the 3D Mink lashes by Lily Lashes in the style Miami. I feel like these will add a really pretty flirty vibe to the look. So I'm gonna pop these on off camera, then I'll come back and then we'll clean up the fallout and finish the rest of the look. Okay, so now that I have the lashes on, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of mascara. This is the Catrice Cosmetics Lashes to Kill mascara, and I'm just gonna use this to blend my lashes in with the falsies, and I'm only gonna take this at the base of the lash. I'm not gonna comb it all the way through. And to clean up the fallout, I'm just gonna use my Billie Wonder Wipes that are infused with hyaluronic acid and vitamin C serum. I'm just going to do a quick little cleanup under here because Lord, that palette had a ton of fallout, but you can't deny that the eyeshadow blend, the pigmentation is unreal. It is so good. Oh. Do you guys see how much of that makeup I just wiped off my face? So crazy. Let's actually move on to face primer. Now I know I said sometimes I use my SPF as like a primer, but I did remove quite a bit of it in the process of getting all of that fallout out of the way. So I am going to go in with this by Revlon. This is the Prime Plus Brightening and Skin Tone Evening Makeup Skincare Primer. It says it is infused with lemon extract and vitamin E and vitamin C, which is great. So I'm gonna pop this open, give it a little bit of a shake. I'm actually excited because it says it has skin tone evening properties. We love that. I feel like a lot of the reason we wear foundation is to even out the skin tone. So I'm gonna put this all over. Ooh, and this smells really good too. Actually, this feels really nice on the skin. I'm gonna take a little bit more, and I'm also gonna put it on my forehead and down my T-zone. Ooh, I feel like my skin looks so glowy and just like radiant. Look at that. And it also is tacky to touch, so I already know the foundation is really gonna stick to it. Well, at least we'll see if it sticks to it for a long period of time, but so far, so good. I do have a color corrector here. It is a new product that I've never tried. I'm very excited. This one is by Physicians Formula. This is the Concealer Twin. So we have kind of like a yellow color and then like a peachy tone here. So I'm going to use this to combat my darkness. I'm first going to take the peach side and I'm going to put it right here underneath my eyes. And I'm also going to use just a little bit of the yellow side because I was reading the packaging and it says that the yellow really helps with darkness as well. So I'm going to dab a little bit of this here. Why not? By the way, I'm not sure if I told you, this product is from Physicians Formula. This is my first time seeing it, so I'm excited to see what it's all about. The sponge I'm going to use to really buff and blend out the concealer is this one right here by e.l.f. This is the Camo Concealer Sponge. I'm also going to take some of that concealer and put it alongside my smile lines, pretty much everywhere where I would usually put that color corrector. I took quite a bit of the yellow, so I'm going to try to remove some and put some all over here. But so far, I feel like it did work pretty nicely underneath my eyes. I'm just going to layer it a little bit more now that it is a little bit dry. And again, I'm going to use that same sponge to really go in and blend it out. All right, so let's move on to foundation. I picked up a foundation from Almay, which is big for me because I don't have many products from Almay. This is the Skin Perfecting Comfort Matte Foundation. I picked mine up in the shade 170 Neutral Beige. It may be a little too dark for me right now, but I do plan on self-tanning, which is why I decided to go a little bit darker. But I'm excited because this foundation looked very promising on display. Like the pictures that they had of the model wearing this foundation looked incredible, and while I know a lot of that stuff is photoshopped and stuff, it still looked very good on display. So I'm gonna take my Total Face Sponge by e.l.f. and I'm just gonna go in and start blending it out. And to my surprise, yes, it is slightly darker than what I would usually go for, but again, I did know I was gonna self-tan prior to using this. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get it. I didn't end up self-tanning last night, so it's just gonna be a little bit too dark for me today, but I think we can pull it off and make it work. But that coverage is good. Have you guys tried out this Almay foundation? And if you have, what are your first initial thoughts of it? Like, what do you think of it? So far, I think this is really good. I'm gonna take a little bit onto my ear since it is a little bit too dark for me, and I'm also gonna blend it down my neck. But so far, so good. Wow, I'm loving the way that this is looking. You guys literally have no idea. I may even have to pick this up in a slightly lighter shade just so that way I could wear it when I'm not self-tan. That's how much I'm into this foundation right now. It literally covered everything up. It's a matte foundation, but my skin doesn't look overly dry. It still kind of has like a luminosity to it that I can't even really describe. It literally looks so good. Anyways, besides that, let's actually move on to concealer. I do have a newer concealer to try out. This is by Neutrogena. This is the Radiant Cream Concealer. This is a part of the Healthy Skin line, and it has peptides and antioxidants in it. I'm going to use the shade right here. The shade is called Ecru Light 2, and I'm going to dab a little bit here underneath. It does look like kind of like a peachy tone concealer looking in my viewfinder, but on the screen it doesn't really look like that, so kind of strange. Actually, I said on my viewfinder, I meant in my mirror, but on my viewfinder, it doesn't look as peachy as it does in real life, but I'm not mad at it. Peachy tone concealers definitely combat darkness, so I am into it. I'm also gonna take some of this concealer on my upper lip and chin, also down the bridge of my nose and forehead, because we definitely want to brighten and really bring this look to life. I'm gonna use that same 24-hour camo concealer sponge by e.l.f. I wish they didn't call it that, but that's what it's called, so. Oh my God, I'm obsessed, you guys. I haven't been this obsessed with like a foundation and concealer combo in a minute. Like, I'm really obsessed. Okay, so high-key obsessed with this foundation and concealer combo. Honestly, you can't really tell me anything right now because
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
Let's move on to powder now, you guys. While I love my base makeup so far, like my foundation and concealer combo, I feel like powder really makes or breaks like your entire base makeup. So I'm gonna go in with this from the Creme Shop. This is called the Moon Dust Universal Setting Powder. On the back it says it's translucent. It's a lightweight powder that eliminates shine and streaks. For an airbrushed finish, you can apply it with a brush or powder puff as a final step to set and hold face makeup for up to 12 hours. So instead of actually using the sponge I use to blend out the concealer, I'm gonna use a puff, and the puff I'm gonna use is by Tati Beauty. This is one of her little like heart-shaped puffs. I'm sure it's called something else, I just completely forgot. I'm gonna give this a shake though, and we're gonna go in, we're gonna set this down. I'm a little nervous. Ooh, this is actually cool. It has a stopper here so that way the powder doesn't get everywhere. So I have some here in the canister. I'm going to dip my puff into the powder, and I'm gonna look up, or open my eyes at least, and I'm gonna take this here and set. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Do I feel like it made my under eyes a little dry? Just a little. I do the same over here and just set everything down. I will definitely say it looks very lightweight on the skin. I do feel like it is making my under eyes look a little dry, like in this area here, but I'm hoping that when I go in with setting spray, it doesn't look as dry. Before completely moving on, I definitely want to finish off my lower lash line. So I'm going to pick up some of this shade right here on a number 15 Sephora brush, and I'm just going to smudge this all alongside my lower lash line, and also like smudge it up underneath this winged eyeliner, just to bring everything together. I feel like this is going to create more of like a sultrier, smokier look, which you guys know I'm all about. Then to really define out my lower lash line, I'm going to take that sienna and mix it in with a little bit of that black on a flat definer brush, and I'm really going to trace it right alongside here because it's really going to kind of pinch this eye look, and honestly close it off a little bit, just because I don't know, that's the vibe I'm going for. I haven't done something like this in a while, so I'm like, okay, let's go all out. Let's drag the black all the way in. I'm gonna go in with a black eyeliner. This one is by Collab. I will have it listed down below, but I'm just gonna drag this all in here just to kind of smoke out this look, because I don't know, it's something different. I feel like I always go in with nude and never black. So now that I have that done, I'm gonna go back into that flat definer brush, and I'm just gonna kind of make sure that this black feathers down from that lash line and there's no spaces or gaps. Then I'm going to take this light shade right here, and I'm going to put it right here in the inner tear duct, just to add some light here, nothing too crazy. I'm going to jump into blush now. Now I am going to go in with a palette that I've used before. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Collection by Whaley, or that Whaley created in collaboration with them. And I'm going to use some of the bronzer shades. I'm going to take the Sunset Bronzer at the very bottom, and I'm going to use this to add some color to the face because it's lacking a little bit of definition. Also, I'm not sure if you guys could tell, but I feel like this bronzer has a little bit of like shimmer in it. Not shimmer, but more so luminosity than anything. So I definitely wanted you guys to be aware of that. Just going to use this to bronze up the cheeks. I'm also going to take some of this bronzer right here alongside my nose, just because it needs something, like it's looking super flat. So for the product I'm most excited for out of this entire video, the Airspun Loose Face Highlighter. Now, you guys know Airspun Loose Face Powder. Well, they came out with highlighters and I was never able to get my hands on them in store, but then I finally saw them and I'm like, okay, I definitely have to try this out. I decided to pick up Glow for the Gold, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this because it is a loose highlighter and I don't want to go too overboard. So I'm going to take it right here. So pretty. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Do you guys see that? Now this is going on completely dry. I have not spritzed my face with any fixing mist whatsoever, and I feel like that is beautiful. Like gorgeous. I can't even believe it. This is such a beautiful highlighter. I'm not gonna go too overboard though, because you guys know my hate-love relationship with highlighters, so I'm only gonna pop it right here. I feel like that's the perfect place to place highlighter. Okay, now let's move on to blush. I do have a brand new blush right here by Almay. This is the Healthy Hue blush. I picked mine up in the shade Nearly Nude. This is such a beautiful shade and I think it's gonna complement the look so beautifully. I'm gonna take this brush right here by Smashbox, swirl my brush in there and just pop it onto the apples of my cheeks. This is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous color. Oh wow. They have like maybe 3 or 4 of these blush shades. Honestly, this is going on so pretty that I may even need to go back and pick up the other shades. They had a beautiful peach, but I was like, no, I'm gonna get the nude just to see how it goes. And if I like the other ones, I'll go back, but it really looks like I'm gonna be going back because this is such a gorgeous shade. Oh my God, this is such a good first impressions. Like everything is going well. Let's move on to the lips. I did pick up a lip liner from Milani. Now I've been loving Milani's lip liner in the shade Shoop. It came in the Salt and Pepper lip kit, so I decided to pick up another lip liner here. This one is the Understatement lip liner in the shade Saucy Toffee. I'm gonna use this to line my lips. I'm not gonna fill them in completely because I do have a couple other lip products that I really want to try. So if I can find a mirror, actually, I'll use a mirror from the palette. For lipstick, I'm gonna go in with this lipstick right here by NYX. This is a brand new lipstick for them. This is called the Shout Loud Satin Lipstick in the shade A La Mode, and it is a really, really beautiful like peachy nude. Are those holes like? Oh hell no! I just got flashbacks. I'm still gonna put it on though, so I'm gonna put this all over. While we're here, I might as well go in with a gloss as well. This is a collaboration with Summer McKeen, I wanna say, Maybelline. This is in the shade 020 Tan Line, and it's a really beautiful nude. Just gonna hot this in the center. Ooh, ooh, okay. This gloss is very, very moisturizing on the lips, which is great. And to finish everything off, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of setting spray. This one here is by Milani. This is the Prep and Refresh Hydrating Mist. It is the rose water. So I'm gonna give it a spray and spray my entire face. Honestly, the mist is a little bit more powerful than what I was expecting. I thought it would be very, very similar to their other setting mist, but it's not too bad. And it smells really, really, really good. And this right here is pretty much the final and completed look, you guys. Honestly, 10 out of 10. I am so impressed with all of the products I use in today's video, which is very rare because anytime I sit down and do like a full face of first impressions, especially on affordable makeup, I do have quite a few misses rather than hits, but I do love a lot of the products I use in today's video. The Orchid Dust palette by Catrice was very, very good, very pigmented, buildable, and blendable. I will say that the shimmers were a little bit thicker than what I'm used to in a shimmer eyeshadow from the drugstore, but nothing I'm too like, oh my god about. Like, I definitely will use this palette over and over again because I really love the tones within the palette. I think the next time I use it, I really want to play around with like the purples and stuff. Let me know how you guys would feel about that. I'll probably do something over on Instagram TV, so let me know down below. Another product I was very impressed with is the Almay blush. I feel like this blush is insanely beautiful. To my knowledge, this is a fairly new blush. This is the shade Nearly Nude. They have like 2 or 3 other shades, and after trying it out, I'm definitely going to be going to the store and picking up all the shades because I feel like it went on very nicely. It's not patchy whatsoever, and it is very, very buildable. Another product I was so obsessed with is from Almay. This is the Skin Perfecting Comfort Matte Foundation. Now, I don't really reach for Almay often just because, I don't know, their packaging doesn't really speak to me or anything like that, but when I was in the drugstore, I was like, okay, I want to pick up a couple products to see what this brand's all about, and this foundation is incredible. Libido's the one who actually recommended it to me. He was like, you should probably try that. You never try Almay out ever. So I picked it up and I am very, very impressed. I do feel like the shade is just a teeny bit too dark for me, but I feel like this will be a really, really good like self tan shade. I do plan on picking up a lighter shade because I really love the way it looks on my skin. Another thing I really loved was the Neutrogena concealer. Do I have it here? Yeah, the Neutrogena concealer. This one is the Radiant Cream Concealer. I feel like it really brightened underneath my eyes in a way that I've never seen before, and it still looked very, very healthy and glowy while still being full coverage, which is so strange to say, but those are pretty much like the highlights of this video. I will have notes next to each and every single product that I really, really enjoyed and would recommend a million times over based on this first impressions down below in the description, so make sure you guys check that out. And I don't think I have anything else to say except I'm going to drink this little Powerade right here because I am so parched, so thirsty. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.